Back on the scene is the incredible one-man team. When I get mad, I turn green. What up, people? Mike Steph here. Talk to Mike Steph podcast for episode 2 of the last season, the ultimate season of the Talk to Mike Steph. This week, we're less than a month away from WrestleMania. Yes, that's right. I'm going to be in my wrestling bag today. But not to fear, I have a special commentary on football matters about one Cam Skattebo of the New York Football Giants that I'll get into toward the end of this podcast. So stay tuned. But like I said, we're about less than a month away from WrestleMania. And the big question is WrestleMania 42 in Vegas again. Does anybody care? Does anybody really care? This has to be one of, if not, matter of fact, I'll say one of the least inspiring builds to WrestleMania in the last 5 years. Yes, the last 5 years. I count them off my top of my head. WrestleMania 37, the first live event that WWE had literally in the middle of the pandemic. The second two-night event, but the first live in color two-night event of WrestleMania. Night one main event, Bianca Belair challenging Sasha Banks for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship in a first ever main event headlined by two African American women. Dare I say, two African Americans, period. And then night two, of course, was the triple threat between the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, at the very infancy of his near 4-year reign as champion, going against not one but two challengers: Daniel Bryan, who has departed and now is Bryan Danielson, and Edge, who is now known as Cope. But yeah, not only did he defend this championship successfully, he stacked them, he smashed them, and he sent them on their way. Now, the following year, still easing out the pandemic, we had WrestleMania 38 in 2022. That was headlined by the biggest match in WrestleMania history. I didn't say it. Bleacher Report didn't say it. Sports Illustrated didn't say it. Vince McMahon said it. The WWE said it. And whether that was the case or not, listen, we had Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the umpteenth time, and tell you the truth, for the umpteenth time in WrestleMania, but this time it was a title unification match. The World Heavyweight Championship, the first iteration, and tell you the truth, the second iteration, versus the Universal Championship, pretty much the WWE Champion versus the WWE Universal Champion. Winner takes all. Not only that, but the night one main event was the return, or should I say the official last match, of Stone Cold Steve Austin. It wasn't a match, it was more of a fight, but he returned to action against Kevin Owens in night one of WrestleMania back in Dallas. And of course, this was the beginning of the story for none other than Cody Rhodes returning home to WWE after becoming one of the founders of the competition, AEW, and coming home the conquering hero. It was a pretty much poorly kept secret, but he made his re-debut in WWE at WrestleMania 38. Then we go to 39, which was kind of billed, or a lot of people felt that was going to be the pinnacle, was going to be the manifestation, was going to be the actualization of Cody realizing and finalizing realizing his story. Yes, his story. Story being he came back to win the championship in which his father never held. And that was the World Championship, the WWE Championship. And he was going against all odds, coming back from a torn pec, winning the 2023 Royal Rumble, trying to break down the bloodline bit by bit by bit by bit, piece by piece by piece by piece. It was him, Cody's coalition. Cody, Sammy, KO. They, all three of them, combined to headline both nights of WrestleMania 39. Sammy and KO ended the record-long reign of the Usos for the WWE, or should I say the World Unified Tag Team Championships. And in night 2, surprisingly, Roman Reigns retained and held off the challenge of Cody Rhodes. This was also supposedly, at least in the grapevines, supposedly this was supposed to be the first WrestleMania without Vince McMahon involved, but we all know that wasn't the case. Do you know why we know that wasn't the case? Because they made such a big deal of WrestleMania 40, WrestleMania XL in Philadelphia in 2024, becoming and beginning the beginning of the Triple H, the Paul Triple H Levesque era. ERA. I, along with thousands and thousands, or dare I say millions and millions of former WWE viewers or current WWE viewers, really spell the Triple H Levesque, Paul Triple H Levesque era, ERROR era. And you're up. But once again, this was fitting of the title XL, not only just Roman numerals, but the extra large main event for night 1 and night 2. You had the return of The Rock, returning as this newest character, this newest iteration of The Rock, the final boss, tagging with his cousin Roman Reigns to go against Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins in night 1. And in night 2, Roman Reigns defending his championship, his unified championship against Cody Rhodes. Once again, in bloodline rules, which means any and everything goes. And the coronation of a new champion, Cody Rhodes, becoming the quote-unquote face of WWE, of becoming the face of the Triple H era of WWE, and Roman Reigns' reign on top. Wasn't short like leprechauns at all, but his reign was temporarily paused, or so we thought. So then we go to WrestleMania 41. And the reason I'm going from year to year to year, because I want to give you some type of historical reference points to why I feel that the build for this year leaves everybody wanting more. But leaves everybody wondering, does anyone care? Does the fan base care? Everybody knows the wrestlers care. Does creative care? Does the media pundits care? Do the podcasters care? I mean, everybody is moaning and kvetching, but there's a reason. There's a reason, because we have been spoiled by greatness over the last 5 years. Over the last 5 years. And this is where the power lies. So when not only are prices skyrocketing, did you crap on the people of New Orleans by saying, yeah, WrestleMania is coming back there next year. Okay, matter of fact, no. My bad. Spoke too soon. Yeah, we're taking it back to Vegas. We're running it back. And people want to know why. Why everything seems so lackluster. Now, last year was the beginning of an elongated WrestleMania build, which I think has hurt in many ways. WrestleMania used to always be the end of March, beginning of April. Now it's literally smack dab in the middle of April because they didn't want to share the weekend with March Madness. Like, listen, in the 90s, in the 2000s, wrestling was going to do what it was going to do no matter what was going on around it. People were going to watch. People weren't going to weren't. It was it was on creative to have people, cause people to make a decision. Am I going to watch March Madness? Am I going to enjoy the spring weather? Or am I going to go to WrestleMania in person? Or am I going to sit down and make WrestleMania weekend a thing? This year, what did you do? Had the Royal Rumble, which was a fait accompli. Everybody knew Roman Reigns was going to win. And like I've said in the past, they didn't even make a big deal Roman Reigns coming back. They put a graphic up. Roman Reigns returns to Royal Rumble. Retire. Okay. Like, the Elimination Chamber. Okay. 4 matches. Everybody knew Cody was going to win. Everybody knew Cody was going to win, but he didn't win. Last minute, Randy Orton won. But we'll get to that very soon. But it's just so haphazard. So, when you come out of Elimination Chamber and you start the real build for WrestleMania with Roman Reigns challenging CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship, everybody is thinking, okay, business is picking up. They've had 3 promos against each other since the Royal Rumble. And each one of them has become more mundane than the other, in my opinion. The first one was electric because this was what we had been waiting for what, 2.5 years since CM Punk came back? So it wasn't anticlimactic at all. Tell you the truth, dare I say, we've been waiting since this era of CM Punk and Roman Reigns for all my YouTube viewers. Yes. When CM Punk finally left and he said all those disparaging words about Roman Reigns, this was a dream match that at the time, for, dare I say, for about 9 years, we never thought we'd be able to see. We never thought we were going to be able to see these people face to face, eye to eye, airing their grievances out like grown-ass men. But here we are. We've had 3 confrontations since the beginning, since the end of the Royal Rumble. The first one was Roman Reigns letting Punk know that he hates him. And where that hate stems from. The Colt Cabana podcast, in which Punk disparaged Roman Reigns, said, got to make Roman strong. An edict came from above, got to make Roman strong. And this is right around the time that Roman was preparing himself for the push of a lifetime to become the man. And all the resentment against the company for pushing CM Punk out the door or pushing him to the point of leaving, quitting the WWE, fell down on Roman. Not only that, Daniel Bryan was coming back from injury, and everybody thought it was a fait accompli that Daniel Bryan was going to regain his spot, and that wasn't to be because Vince had different plans. His plan was Roman Reigns. In canon, causing Roman Reigns to lose his wise man in Paul Heyman, who CM Punk, unfortunately, adequately, correctly said was his wise man first. But sowing seeds of discontent and confusion last year in the lead up of the night one WrestleMania main event, the triple threat between CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. Going all the way back to the Survivor Series of 2024, in which CM Punk agreed to join the Bloodline. But he told Paul, you owe me a favor. And the favor, of course, was pretty much to be by his side to just stick that little needle in the side of Roman Reigns. Even back to this past year, at this year's Survivor Series, according to Roman Reigns, disrespecting him behind his back when he was man enough, face to face, to stick his hand out and give him some what BS Zebros. He was man enough to do it face to face, and as soon as he turned his back, CM Punk mocking the tribal chief, mocking the OTC, because he has a trinket and Roman doesn't. Never mind the fact that Roman has always said, listen, and he said it this past Monday, the only reason that title is relevant is because I'm going after it. That's the only reason you're relevant, is because I am deciding to go after the title that you hold. The title that you hold. Both things are true. The only reason CM Punk is in the main event, the last match of the two-night WrestleMania, is because of the tribal chief. Not because of CM Punk, but I digress. I said I digress. Meanwhile, Punk has tried to pull rank in terms of experience by calling Roman Reigns his young boy and harps on the fact that Roman takes a lot of time off. But Roman Reigns has adequately said, this is what superstars do. These are the perks that superstars get. You get paid when I get paid for less appearances, because guess what? I paid my dues. I done dipped my time. And because I am what they call a special attraction. I'm saying it, not him. I'm saying that. I don't need to be ran into the ground like a racehorse, like a greyhound. Trying to get their last bit of return, ROI, return of investment. Return of investment. I'm the one who made this company a $1 billion company. And CM Punk is trying to say it as that's supposed to be a disrespect of he's not there long. That's why Roman Reigns, when he said, listen, ask your wife about that superstar status where they can come and go as they please and get paid top dollar and don't have to be here every week, which also, once again, opens up the hypocrisy in which CM Punk is showing, unfortunately, on a daily basis when it comes to WWE. But listen, I'm going to pull back on that right now. Their second face-to-face was more the same. Punk stating that he was there for the fans by being present and being a fighting champion. Which, doesn't that kind of make him a company man? Isn't that what he railed against 13 years ago? Being a yes man? Being the man in which you do everything for the company. But oh, my bad, I forgot, because everything is going in his favor right now. It's okay. Isn't this the same man that said that the company was driving him into the ground and wouldn't even give him time off? But now he's bragging about being there every week and looking down upon somebody who does not have to be there every week? Isn't this something that he was rooting for? More time off for the wrestlers? More care for the wrestlers? But only, I guess, only if that applies to him and him only. My bad. Now, Roman adequately, I'm sorry, I keep on repeating that word, but it's so apropos. Roman continues to call him out on his hypocrisy. And like I said, the more we see CM Punk, the more it rings true. Roman Reigns has also stated that he had to give the okay for Punk to return to the WWE, that he had to give his blessing for Punk to continue to make a living for his family, for WWE to even attempt to put money in Punk's pocket, had to be signed off on by the OTC, the tribal chief. See how everything goes around? Comes around, goes around, but comes around, goes around, my comes around, goes around, my. So, salvo number 2 ended with Punk stating that he was going to bury Roman. And he was going to do so to make sure that Roman saw his dead father again. Cheap heat? Like really? This is what we're doing? This is what we're doing? Isn't, or at least I assume, that CM Punk was better than that? He was better than to have to resort to those type of tactics to get some type of heel heat, to get some type of crowd heat. Now, listen, in the year 2026, CM Punk fans are going to be CM Punk fans, and they're going to be rabid, and they're going to be loud, and they're going to be supportive, and they're going to be loyal. Roman Reigns fans are going to be rabid, they're going to be loud, they're going to be loyal, they're going to be supportive. I don't believe there's anything neither one of these or either one of these individuals can do to make a Punk fan root for Roman and a Roman fan root for Punk if that wasn't the case prior to this upcoming match. I, Mike Steph, just happen to be a fan of both. And anybody who knows me or knows my history of being a wrestling fan, especially in the last 15 years, know that I probably was a CM Punk fan way longer than I was a Roman Reigns fan. I do admit that. I did not become a Roman Reigns supporter until Wreck Everyone and Leave. Show up, win. Show up and win. Wreck Everyone and Leave. The head of the table. Smash them, stack them, win. All that. The Bloodline. The OTC. The One. I became a Roman Reigns believer. CM Punk, I became disillusioned with over the last 6 to 8 months. my bro for gimmick infringement, Tyler McDowell, Blinken, tried to call me on tack, but tried to call me out on that because he'd been saying that CM Punk has been a hypocrite this whole time, that he sold out. And I was steadfast against that. But the more that I see how the landscape is, the more I tend to agree. But like I said, we'll talk about that in-depth conversation at a later date because dare I say, the next time me and Mr. McDowell are face to face or side by side on this platform talking about that subject, we might be more aligned than we were last year when we was talking about this subject, and I was fighting the good fight because, to tell you the truth, but to get to my point, there's a reason why I call myself, matter of fact, I refer to myself as the best in the world at what he does. It's partly because of CM Punk, partly because of somebody who shall not be named, because I quickly got off that bandwagon once that person showed their true colors, such as CM Punk is doing right now. Just different ways. So I'm officially in the Roman Reigns camp for this championship match, for this WrestleMania match. But my thing is, you really resorted to using death, right? Like I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm very sensitive when it comes to that. I know in wrestling there's a time-honored tradition that people feel that if a family member, somebody passed away, especially if they was in the business, and you're doing an angle, then all's good. That person would love to have it. That person would love to be in an angle passes. Like we have examples like Paul Bearer, in which CM Punk and Paul Heyman supposedly spread the ashes all over CM Punk's body in their WrestleMania 29 match against the Undertaker right after Paul Bearer passed away. I get it, but still. So now you got Sika, Rob Samoans. I feel with that, I just think there's so much other history you could pull from to add on to the animosity between these two characters that you didn't need to go there. Not only that, there's such a long lineage of Samoan wrestlers that are pretty much related, that all because, let's say, Roman gave the A-OK and the Usos gave the A-OK, I doubt. Matter of fact, you know what? I'll say on WWE, I doubt they talked to Rocky about that. But if Roman gave the okay, but I wonder who brought it up. Who brought it up in the meeting? Did Roman say, you know what, to really get them on your side? Well, you know what, to really get them, to which go to really start turning the tide and get on my side? Bring up my father. I highly doubt that. Would CM Punk be so willing to bring up a dead relative of his in storyline, whether they're human or not? Would he? I don't know. Now, this last and most recent face-to-face, to me, was corny. Punk, once again, resorting to something questionable that I feel like in the past he's better than, and he knows it. When he was talking, when he's calling Roman, he said, I don't want to call you Joe. I don't want to call you by your name, Joe, because um, I know another Joe that's Samoan that's like my brother, and I don't want to. No, I don't want to call you Joe. Maybe I should call you Titty Tiaki. I know somebody's like, darn, why are you being such a snowflake? No, that's far from the case. Once again, I just feel like they're above that. They're above using that. And once again, I wonder who brought that up in their brainstorming sessions. Did Roman say, you know where to get him? You know what's a good insult to me? Call me Titty Tiaki. I swear. It's not like Roman brought out a can of Alpo and said, you won't be needing this anymore. Somebody probably cry tears, right? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's to me, those two strikes. Those are two strikes. But most importantly, if this is your first chance to see somebody who disrespected your father face to face, it's supposed to be on site. It's supposed to be on site. Your cousins came, and yeah, you could say your storyline or whatever. And of course, he was like, pretty much what y'all gonna do about it? Gaslighting them. So the people say, how we say, put the battery in their back. So what you gonna do? You gonna let them talk about your uncle that way? You felt good, right? Matter of fact, everybody should go. It should be on site for everybody. Matter of fact, red light. Any Samoan that's in the sound of my voice, in the circumference, can hear my voice. Red light on CM Punk. But if you say that, you got that same energy, you cannot be less than 2 feet away from that man trading barbs. But also, and this has to be addressed, was this audible? Because for Roman to call Punk old, which by all manners, matter of fact, this is probably a better picture. Does Punk look like someone who's trying not to look old? Like if your facial hair is gray and you got a full head of Turkey's finest and strands of new hair that doesn't have a strand of gray in it. I mean, shoot. 13 years ago, he had little pieces that's gray in his hair. But why would that send CM Punk in such a rage? A rage that at the end of the third appearance with each other, that CM Punk actually put hands on Roman, and Roman did not put hands on him back. He just smiled and laughed like, yeah, got him. Got him. Got him. Got him. Was the audible? Are there political games being played? Is there a veneer of CM Punk that's saying, you can say whatever you want to say about me, and we can say whatever we want to say about each other, and I won't feel no ways? But especially behind the scenes, nah, we're not going there. We're not going here. We're not going there. Plus, he made a comment about his wife, which wasn't really a disrespectful comment. But that didn't raise his gander. But calling him old was enough to make CM Punk snap and hit him. All right. I don't know. I don't know. So besides all that, we got 3 Raws left with both of them in attendance. We got this week, which is the 23rd. We got the 30th. And then we got April 13th to go home to WrestleMania. There's only so much they can talk about anymore. It became physical 2 weeks in a row. One with the Usos against Punk, and last week with Punk against Roman. The time for talk has to be over face to face. These summits at the end of the programs have run its course. They should not be face to face again until the go home edition of Monday Night Raw. That's the next time and last time they need to be face to face. Everything else, they could be on the same show. One person begins it, the other person ends it. And you have a show long storyline arc that carries you from the intro to the end between these two men. That's how we did it. That's how they did it back in the days. Stone Cold came out. Vince McMahon tried to screw him, or Vince McMahon came out laughing about how he screwed Stone Cold the last 2 weeks, and the whole show was Stone Cold on his path to get back. Like, so what the hell is the difference? You got other characters, use them. To me, it's almost like they've lost the plot by going to the well too often. The amount of animosity toward each other with no action being involved is dwindling. And to me, they made this no-brainer of a build more complicated than it need to be. Oh, I can't wait until the next season of WWE Unreal so I can really figure out how they messed up. And let me guess. Oh, injuries. Injuries of what? Injuries of what? And people want to know why nobody really cares. Because even when they start caring, you drill it into the ground to the point that nobody gives a crap about it no more. Well. The night 1 main event is going to be Randy Orton going for title reign, number 15, against 3-time champion and newly minted heavyweight champion, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was turned on by Orton, as we all expected. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how brutal Randy Orton was to Cody Rhodes. This is going to be an uphill battle for Randy to be booed and for Cody to be cheered, and both of them unanimously. It just is. People are getting tired. People are tired of Cody Rhodes. You have all these faces who are being portrayed as whining, such as Sammy, being portrayed as unloyal, such as when KO turned, and I'll get to him in very few minutes, and now Randy, based on them not wanting Cody to turn. And yeah, I know business-wise it doesn't make any sense. I get it. But something has to change with his character. They was on the right foot last year when the pressure of being champion was getting to Cody, and he was being paranoid. He was being short to everybody. And then they did that cockamamie John Cena turn, in which John Cena turned, left them bloody, and then for 2-3 weeks they're going face to face, and Cody's not getting no get back. I swear, I hope, I pray they're not doing that same thing this time. Randy Orton leaves him bloody, leaves him laying, tried to maim that man. After Cody pretty much said, you know what, this the version that I want. I want the Viper. I want you to listen to those voices in your head. The next time they are in the same building, Cody needs to be going for the jugular. My brother turned on me. My brother tried to end me for a piece of gold that I was giving him a chance in the first place. And he took it to where I expected it to go, but I didn't want it to go. There's no debating here. There's no being a politician here. There's no having a ready repartee between the two. Randy already let you know where he stands. I ain't effing with you right now. You my brother. I got love for you. I love you. I really don't want to do this to you, but I got to do whatever I need to do because I need that championship. That's what I need. You have it. I need it. That's it. Little bro. The crowd is behind Orton, though. The fan base that's getting tired of Cody is growing stronger and stronger and stronger. In this past Friday's events, in which he beat up Matt Cardona not once but twice and quote unquote broke his arm, just making it that much harder to root against Randy, because Randy is he really doing heelish tactics? If you think about it, Is he really doing heelish tactics, or is he a tiger going tiger? He's being very upfront. Like, this is what I need, and I'm going to do this by any means necessary. He didn't smile in his face and shake his hand. He looked at him like he called Matt Cardona a mark-ass busted to his face, for lack of a better term. Called him a dweeb, a nerd, a video game player, even though he plays video games also. And he admitted that. Listen, I play video games too. I apologize. And then he, like, stupid. You just saw what I did to you in the back. Do you really think less than an hour later I'm going to come and change your mind? What, they're going to be nice voices in my head? I hear voices in my head. They're telling me to say sorry. They understand. No. So that's endearing him to the audience. He has been in the WWE for 23, 24, 25 years. He has been at the top of the card for 22 years. This summer will be 22 years since he won his first championship. Highs and lows, suspensions, crapping in people's bags, losing weight, gaining weight, turning, crippling, maiming, legend killer, killing legends legitimately and kicking them out. He's done everything. There's nothing that he can do for that crowd to say, you know what, we're not effing with Randy. Cody Rhodes has not reached that status. He has not reached. Tell you the truth, you know, to be honest, there are other wrestlers in WWE that actually have this status before Cody does. Like, I mean, think about it. For all the years we wanted John Cena to turn heel. When he turned heel, even though it's a lackluster and half-hearted attempt, people played along with it and they still cheered him because this was something that they wanted. They didn't want this version. They didn't want this laziness. But they was like, all right, you know what? He's throwing us a bone on his retirement tour. Yay! Randy Orton, that man came back from what? He was out for almost 2 years due to a back injury. People thought his career was over. He had been so grateful for the last 2 years. He showed the vulnerable side of the Viper, both in canon and in real life. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing that he can do that's not going to be entertaining enough for the fans to cheer against him, especially when he's going against somebody who they are tired of. Is this match a main event caliber match for a WrestleMania? Yes. Have they gotten here the right way? No. Hell no. They put themselves in a position of having to accelerate it. They had to put lighter fluid on it. You know, like when you at a barbecue and you want to get that flame up real quick and you didn't really prep your coals the way you're supposed to and let it simmer and let it, which going to really get up there to get that sustained heat. So the people start going, food ain't cooking fast enough. You get that lighter fluid. Guess what? Yeah, the heat's coming up, the flame is coming up, but guess what? Your whole food tastes like lighter fluid because you had to accelerate it. It tastes like crap. You didn't let it simmer. You didn't let it fully cook. Making Orton this crazed heel. This crazed heel. A month before Mania is weak. With all the history they have to draw from, 16, 17 years of history between these two. Just like Cody said, his first match on the main roster was against Randy Orton. He had a feud, for lack of a better term, against Randy Orton. Randy Orton faced Dusty Rhodes. I want to say Great American Bash 07, 06, 07. Orton put Rhodes under his wing with legacy. For how many years? Then they had a feud in which it became dastardly Cody Rhodes with the broken nose, with the broken face, with the face mask, deranged Cody Rhodes, black hair Cody Rhodes. You have all this history. You even have recent history from back during the King of the Ring. But with all that history they had to draw from, the Goldust route was and is asinine. Now, there's a mystery the last 2 weeks, the last week, and who's pulling the strings for Randy Orton. Randy Orton's been on the phone not once but twice with a certain individual that, according to Randy, reminded him to listen to those voices, reminded him that he is a killer, that he is the apex predator, that he has to put his needs above any and everyone else. Who is that? Now, some corners of the internet, some corners of the IWC, taking the easy way out. Oh, got to be Cowboy Bob Orton. No. No. Yes, I know. He did put that hint. He did put that red herring when he said, yes, Cody Rhodes, your family is not the only royal wrestling family. The Ortons, okay. I get it. They're not bringing Cowboy Bob back. Tell you the truth, I hope they don't. Because I don't see where that leads. I don't. They brought him back 20 years ago against the Undertaker. They had a handicap match, damn near, against the Undertaker in Hell in a Cell. 20 years ago. That just means Cowboy Bob is 20 years older, meaning he's approaching 70. He can't really get physical. I don't need that. I don't want that. But here's another possibility that I think has a little bit more teeth to it. What if Kevin Owens is the guy that Randy Orton is talking to? What if Kevin Owens is that voice in his head that he's listening to? Is he the one that propelled this instant turn from Orton? Remember two things. One, Kevin Owens was on track to face Randy Orton last year for WrestleMania before his neck said, not going to be able to do it. Before that, Kevin Owens turned on Cody due to being frustrated, but also feeling that Cody is a hypocrite himself. Cody cheated to retain his title multiple times, or should I say, he took advantage of an opportunity multiple times. Similarly to what he did with Randy Orton this past year at the King of the Ring. Even before that, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton were close and teamed on many occasions. Remember, both of them went after the United States Championship at WrestleMania 40 against Logan Paul. To me, if it's anyone besides Kevin Owens that is revealed, it would be a major disappointment. Underwhelming, but unfortunately, par for the course. Not the course. Course. Now, Paul Levesque, Triple H. Is he trying to protect his legacy? Think about it. Yeah, I'm full conspiracy theorist right now. But think about it. Do y'all think that Paul Levesque is going to allow anyone to surpass his legacy, so to speak, unless he can take credit for it and, in fact, add on to his legacy with that situation, with that fact? Think of it. He's going to take credit for Cody Rhodes when it's all said and done. Listen, Cody became the face of WWE under my stewardship, under my leadings, under my guidance in my era. Doesn't that sound like Triple H? Maybe not by the voice, but doesn't that sound like something Triple H would say? Think about it. But think about this. Vince McMahon was the one who actually brought Triple H back. I mean, Cody Rhodes back. Vince McMahon brought Cody Rhodes back. Him and Bruce Pritchard went to that house and convinced him to come back. Vince is the one who put the rocket on the behind of Cody Rhodes. Triple H can't even take credit for Roman getting over the hump. That happened before he was in charge. That happened once again under Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Now, on the opposite side, what he can take credit for is the castration of CM Punk. He has successfully made CM Punk bow down when I'm in your town, bow down, and kiss the ring. So Punk is allowed to thrive. It's so transparent. They're so buddy. And listen, I'm not saying that you're supposed to continue hating something or hating someone that you didn't like 20 years ago. People grow. And the one thing I real agree with is the saying, if you're the same person you were 20 years ago that you are now, something is wrong. There's supposed to be growth. I get it. But in a lot of ways, that growth sometimes just means you know of more economical ways to manipulate someone without them really realizing that they're being manipulated. Yeah. Yeah, I believe that's true. Matter of fact, to bring it all the way home, how about this? Trick Williams, Trick Daddy. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Trick Williams is that dude right now. He is undeniable right now. And guess what? Triple H is attaching himself to Trick Daddy right now as we speak. Making sure, trust me, this wasn't just a behind the scenes, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we showed how the entrance came together? No, he wanted it out there that, listen, I'm putting my power behind him. He's going to be one of my guys, and I'm going to make sure that he stands out. It's my vision I have for him. Making sure the whole world knows who's behind what is becoming an iconic entrance. Did somebody else get some type of credit? Did Trick get some type of credit with taking the ball and running with it? The last year, NXT and TNA and coming up on the main roster, when I'm quite sure the plan was not, if the plan was for him to be in the position that he is right now with his lemon pepper steppers on, he would have came on the scene with this already in effect. The fact that they're adding it on right now means, yeah, we need to hitch a wagon, hitch on to this money train right now, and ride this for everything that it's worth. When it comes to the women, Rhea's his NXT baby. Io Sky is his NXT baby. Jade is his acquisition, his main acquisition from AEW. They will not be allowed to fail. Jade in particular, because Jade, unfortunately, is a potential notch in the belt for Triple H. That's how he's looking at it. That's a notch in my belt. I pulled somebody from AEW and I made them better, even though he hasn't. Is it part of the talent? You know what? I'm not even going to go there. When I'm talking about Triple H, I'm not going to go there and say, it's Jade's fault that it's taking a while to get some traction. No, I'm not putting it on her. If you wasn't such in a rush to try to shove somebody's success, to shove your knowledge, to shove the thought that you're some type of genius in Tony Khan's face, then maybe, just maybe, Jade could have spent some time in NXT like it seemed like she was about to do before she got rushed to the main roster, put with Bianca, and both at the same time, push Jade, but keep Bianca at a certain level so you can allow, or it could be allowed for Rhea to actually have room to grow. Io became a happy accident. Because remember, when they brought Io up as a heel, as a foreign heel in a group that had wrestling talent. That's it. She wasn't expected to be standout. Just a happy accident that she is. And of course, guess what? He's hitching his wagon to it. So like I said, with all that being said, are y'all ready for WrestleMania? Are you ready to rumble? Are you ready to watch a full weekend of WrestleMania? I'm not. I've yet to get the ESPN app. That means I haven't watched the PLE since SummerSlam. That's the last PLE I saw. When it was on Peacock, that's the last PLE I saw of the main roster. NXT, I'll watch that. But now I'm having a big dilemma. There's a reason why I haven't gotten the ESPN app, because there's nothing on ESPN that I want to watch. I cut the cord. I don't have cable. I watch nothing but apps. So there's a reason why I have every app but the ESPN app. But am I going to do it for WrestleMania? Are they giving me any type of reason to add another app, at least for 1 month, for WrestleMania? Especially when I can literally just watch the clips on YouTube. I mean, that's what I do for SmackDown. I can't watch SmackDown. I don't have USA. But I watch the clips. So in 3 hours. Matter of fact, for a 3-hour show, I can watch what I need to know about SmackDown in about 30 to 40 minutes via clips. Can I do that for WrestleMania? Am I just going to be a sheep that just follows blindly because it's WrestleMania and this is what I do? I don't know. It used to be a community thing. Me, Main Event K, Chef Mix, get together, night 1, night 2, watch WrestleMania. It was like a springtime Super Bowl. This year, things are going on. Actually, I have a college visit that day, so we're going to be en route from Albany back down here before WrestleMania starts for night 2. Night 1, I don't know. So I actually have other things that I can just say, I just don't feel like doing it. This is only one way to find out whether or not Mike Steph is going to watch WrestleMania this year, and that is to see if Mike Steph has a Mike Steph special off the top WrestleMania review, WrestleMania recap. No, I'm not going to hold y'all in suspense. I'll let y'all know beforehand. I don't know how far beforehand because I'm still up on it. Please, put your thoughts in the comments. Am I correct about the build of these 2 main event matches? Am I correct about Triple H protecting his legacy at the expense of others? Am I? Am I? This doofus on your screen right now is Cam Skattebo, running back for the New York Football Giants. An overall idiot. Overall piece of crap. Overall, okay. I am going to calm myself down for a minute. Read the title. Cam Skattebo says CTE and asthma are fake. Now, there's a big uproar, and he has since apologized for saying CTE isn't real, calling it a tasteless joke. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, how could you say anything about CTE? Especially with his style. That mother ever probably got CTE right now walking around, but we won't find out until he dropped dead. Which is probably true. And a lot of the uproar from all corners of the sports media is based on the CTE part. Asthma is being swept under the rug. Now, before I go on my rant, matter of fact, I'm not even. Asthma is the part that pissed me off about this whole controversy. I'm going to play a clip that got him in some hot water, which he thinks he can just absolve by apologizing and calling it a tasteless joke. Watch and listen and see if that mother effer seemed like he's joking at all.
You think CTE is a real thing?
No. It's an excuse.
I think asthma is an excuse too.
Yeah.
Is that a hot take?
No, that's a good
That's
take.
valid.
Yes, asthma's fake.
Is there anything worse than when you're in 4th grade and someone's huffing and puffing, you're just soft?
Yeah, just literally
Be better.
breathe air.
You go to New York Giants.
Let's play this again.
You think CTE is a real thing?
No. It's an excuse.
I think asthma is an excuse too.
Yeah.
Is that a hot take?
No, that's a good
That's
take.
valid.
Yes, asthma's fake.
Is there anything worse than when you're in 4th grade and someone's huffing and puffing, you're just soft?
Yeah, just literally
Be better.
breathe air.
You go to New York Giants.
Asthma is fake. Asthma is an excuse. The host, whatever the hell his name is, I don't even think I want to give him even the credit of giving his name. Frank Delana, Bring the Juice podcast. That mother effer talking about, yeah, it's an excuse. It's nothing worse than in 4th grade, somebody walking and they're out of breath. They're just soft. And then Cam Skattebo replies, yeah, like, dude, like just breathe some air. Do you think if it was as easy as someone just breathing some freaking air, they wouldn't do so? To be candid, my late son Nakai dealt with asthma, chronic asthma, all his life. The older he got, the more he was able to manage it, especially being the fact that he was very athletic and he played basketball on a continual basis. So that actually helped him regulate the asthma. But in no uncertain terms was asthma fake to my son, was asthma fake in my household. Both my grandchildren, two of my matter of fact, my grandchildren, because I just realized all of my grandchildren have asthma. Chronic asthma. When the weather changes, especially when it gets cold, it triggers their asthma. They've been on They've had to take nebulizers. They've had to do machines. They've had to go to the emergency room numerous times. There was many times that me and my wife had to take Nakai to the emergency room due to chronic asthma. We had a nebulizer machine in the house. My daughter has asthma. We've had to give her treatments in the house. So the fact that this ignoramus, egged on by the podcast. Listen, I don't even blame the podcaster because the podcast is doing what he's making money on doing, and that's to get us talking about. That's to get a hot take. That's to get a controversial quote. That's to get more streams, more hits, more talk about his effing podcast. He's a troll. And people using the excuse, well, you don't know the podcast, that's what he does. I don't give a rat's ass what he does. That doesn't excuse Mr. Skattebo for feeding into it. Once again, read, watch, listen. Does it sound like this mother effer is joking?
You think CTE is a real thing?
No. It's an excuse.
I think asthma's an excuse too.
Yeah.
Is that a hot take?
No, that's a good
That's
take.
valid.
Yes, asthma's fake.
Is there anything worse than when you're in 4th grade and someone's huffing and puffing, you're just soft?
Yeah, just literally
Be better.
breathe air.
You go to New York Giants.
This dude said literally like breathe air. All right, cool. Now I'm gonna read this article from Yahoo Sports about this cocksucker. Yeah, he got me to say it. Matter of fact, yeah. Research shows that CTE is prevalent in NFL players. Years of recent. Matter of fact, before I do that, I'm going to bring on a clip from someone with intimate knowledge of Cam Skattebo from back in their ASU days in the desert as a Sun Devil. And he has a couple of opinions on this matter. So, go ahead.
Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast is in full effect, and I am honored to be joining you for this appearance on episode 2. Regrettably, to talk about the regrettable comments from Giants running back Cam Skattebo. I remember watching Scat as an ASU Sun Devil not long ago. Scat, you may recall, had a promising rookie season for the New York Giants last year, unfortunately derailed due to injury. Since the injury, he's appeared on WWE's Monday Night Raw, he's appeared on various podcasts, and has really been creating a name for himself. He's already a fan favorite amongst the New York Giants community. He was a fan favorite at ASU. Underdog story, transferred to Tempe from Sacramento State, relatively diminutive in size, can play the running back in college, threw the ball, caught the ball, blocked. He did everything, that proverbial Swiss Army knife. Huge fan favorite. Only spent 2 years as a Sun Devil and left the program on many fans' Mount Rushmore. All time for the Arizona State football program. That's how popular this is. That's how fun it is to watch Cam Skattebo play. Now, what feels like a scam are his regrettable comments on this recent podcast, questioning the legitimacy of CTE, of asthma. It's so unnecessary. It's a total unwarranted fumble. You've already, in less than a season, made a name for yourself in the NFL. This is so unnecessary. Like those Jey Uso joints, those grills you got. Paul Wall Jones. Unnecessary. I don't want to go in my full Tyra Banks bag. It's a weird thing to say after the documentary. I don't want to steal Tyra Banks' gimmick here, but we are rooting for you, Kim Skattebo. We are all rooting for you. Cut this out. I mean, play this video, Mike, but Kim Skattebo, cut this out if you're watching. You're representing the ASU community. I watched you play. I worried in real time that you suffered head injuries. I hope you do not have CTE. I hope you never do. But it's a real thing, Kim Skattebo. And you put out a tweet apologizing for it, which I hope was authentic and not just a PR move.
Listen. Years of recent research has indicated evidence of CTE in former football players with brain damage directly tied to contact sports and repeated hits to the head. A 2023 study of former NFL players at Boston University CTE Center found evidence of CTE in nearly 92% of the players. Also, per the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, approximately 1 in 12 Americans have asthma. From his days at Arizona State, like Mr. McDowell so aptly explained, Skattebo has been known for his hard-nosed running style on the field and for headbutting the wall. The running back's rookie season came to early in last year when he suffered a dislocated ankle, and of course, a few weeks later, he was mixing up with wrestlers at a WWE event. Skattebo's recovery has been ongoing. He told Rich Eisen earlier this month that he was at about 70% of his running speed, which he admitted was not very fast. Still, he appears likely to return to the field for the Giants next season. Now, listen to these stats. So I don't know why this mother effer feels like he's so entitled. Why he feels like he's a star. Why people feel like he's a star, period. He might have star potential, but now we know why he was drafted where he was drafted. Now you know why. Skattebo rushed for 410 yards. 410 yards and caught 24 passes for 207 yards while totaling 7 touchdowns in 8 games during his rookie season. He was a 4th round draft pick of the New York Football Giants. Tyler can speak for himself, and he did so eloquently that, yeah, people rooting for him. I'm not I. Not I. Listen, I'm not one to hold grudges anymore. But, and it's not really no buts. I want to see if he puts his words to match his actions. He apologized, okay, but listen, that was more PR. That was more, yo, you messing up, you fumbling the bag right now, yo. And if I was the Giants, that would make me even more apt to draft Jeremiah Love at the number 5 pick. Because if they got Love, you got Tracy. Do you really need Skattebo? Coming off a dislocated ankle, and you already see that he doesn't have a brain. Well, doesn't have a brain to function in New York. Do you need that type of distraction? John Harbaugh, do you? I don't know, but see, I gave y'all football. See, Smitty, you got football. Well, people, that brings us to the end of another edition of the Salty Thoughts Mike Step podcast. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me in this here podcast the one y'all choose to view and the one y'all choose to listen to. Actually, it's way longer than I thought. I was really trying to do an album. You know, I've been on the grind. You know, I got the grind beard on. You know, I got the bloodline. You know, I'm trying to do my thing out here. You know, but I was trying to get in and get out. You know, but this podcast thing, these topics that I was talking about, keep calling me like Pookie, keep calling me, or keep me in the grind like some good cut. Yeah, some cutty. Sure. Speaking of which, I haven't had no cutty in a minute, but that's neither here nor there. Next week, what's going to be on tap next week? I'm not gonna come back unless something outrageous happens in the world of wrestling. I'm not gonna come back next week with wrestling. And we're gonna talk about the New York Knicks. I was supposed to put a live a couple of days ago for the New York Knicks. Probably not. I might hold off on them until the precipice of the playoffs, and hopefully I could get someone very near and dear to me to come on and help me get a playoff preview, not only for the Knicks but the NBA as a whole. I know where I'm looking. I'm looking toward the Midwest. I don't know. Maybe I need to put the bat signal out. Bat signal. Just need to put a salt shaker out and just sprinkle it over, you know, Lake Superior or something. And maybe they'll get the hint. Hey guy, me. You know, but shoot. Well, if it's not basketball, did football last week and did wrestling this week. What could it be? Oh, that's right. My New York Metropolitans begin the regular season this week. Yes. They opening day for the New York Mets is this coming Thursday. So they play Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. I want to say against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Might not be accurate. I think that's who they're playing against. And if they are, it should be a 3-game sweep. But we all know how the Metropolitans get down. Nothing is ever easy for the Metropolitans. But regardless, since it's going to be opening day, opening weekend of the Major League Baseball season, I will be here brand new, spanking with some New York Metropolitan opening weekend thoughts. Yeah, I'm going to start the season off by talking about the Metropolitans. And you know who would be happy about me talking about the Metropolitans, especially on such a grandiose day as for opening day? Yeah, he will be one happy camper when he clicks on and he hears the expert analysis of the opening series of the regular season with the Metropolitans on the next edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. Yes. So with all that being said, I am going to get out of here because it's 1:35 in the morning. I have a long day tomorrow. Well, actually, I have a long day today, and I had a long day yesterday. I have to go and get my car taken care of because of a recall. And then I have to go to the doctor's office. You know why I'm going to the doctor's office? For my yearly physical. That's right. Every man out there, everybody in the atmosphere that's watching and listening to me, please go get yourself checked up. Especially when you're approaching the age that I am, when you're approaching a half a century, you need to go get your checkups. So I'm going to go and have my my uh my my physical, and then I am going to force the doctor, because my doctor is an idiot. I'm going to force my doctor to refer me to an oncologist so I can get all the cancer screenings that I need. Yes. Yes. Because um we're no good to anybody if we're not healthy. We're not good to our friends, we're not good to our family, we're not good to nobody. And it's one thing to look great on the outside, but if your inside is rotten, you got that stench of a rotten core, rotten soul, and organs and all that stuff, then what's this all for? Yes, what's it all for? Brothers on my jock, cut the leather hard. Ha 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 ha! Brothers on my jock, cut they like the way I hold a piece of steel. So what you saying? Ooh. Goodbye. I said goodbye.